Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, corn dog lovers of all ages, welcome to In the Box with your hosts, Matt and Adam.
Everybody get...
How do we do this again?
Huh?
What?
What?
Oh, hello there.
Oh, hey.
Are we live?
Hi.
I was thinking I should grab all the videos and do a compilation of all the Are You Live bits. But I don't think it would only be funny to us.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty long. And,
But we couldn't do
it'd
it
be-
live.
Yeah. So we are live. Is that...
I think
is that
so.
what
I think we are.
Okay.
I think we only have 2 people watching, but that's because we told them 8:30 and everyone plans their entire nights around this. And then we just
so
completely...
we missed you guys so much that we wanted to give you 15 minutes more.
Is that it, or we just want to end it 15 minutes earlier?
I think it's ending 15 minutes earlier, so... I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how much we talk about.
Get a lot, kind of. Maybe.
So I just wanted to show this off real quick. This is the new backdrop for me, in all its wonderful glory.
Did you run out of room in your closet? Is that what happened?
No, actually, I didn't really have a lot of hangers with actual stuff on them, like maybe a couple shirts, like polo shirts that I don't wear anymore. So I'm like, I'm going to put up all of my jerseys.
Nice.
And there it is.
And there it is. I just have bases. I need more bases.
Basses or bases?
I get my basses at Bass Pro Shop. Say that right?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
I think he's...
Do we start any real content, or do we wait till 8:30 to really have content?
I mean, we can talk about random things. How long? Okay, so let me ask you this question. So, 4th of July has come and gone. How long would it take you to eat 75 hot dogs?
So, this is a great. In fact, we could be Major League Eating in the box, because I could talk about this stuff all day long. I'm a huge, I don't know why, a huge competitive eating fan. We've been watching back since the Kobayashi days, before Joey Chestnut was even a thing. And I could say very confidently, and I love hot dogs. Like, I can eat 5 at once, no problem for a meal, with the buns. I can't eat 75 hot dogs in a single month. I'm pretty much guaranteed I can't do it.
Right. Yeah, I would say my limit is like 2 or 3, because the places I go for like picnics and stuff do hot dogs and hamburgers, and I like both. Like, I'm not going to sit there and stick to one thing. Like, I want a plethora
Yes.
of food items.
Exactly.
So a little bit of pasta salad, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like, one hot dog, one hamburger, boom, done.
At least 2 of each.
No.
It depends on which kind. So, I come from a big Italian family, and when we had picnics and barbecues and get-togethers, there was no way you were getting off with only eating 1 hot dog and 1 hamburger. You were gonna, if you could still move, you offended somebody by not eating enough. And I remember, so freshman year in college, a friend of mine lived off campus, and I used to buy, and he rode his bike into campus. And I would borrow a friend's electric scooter and meet him out there. And his grandma was like early Alzheimer's, and love to cook. And at one point, he mentioned that it would be neat if, we would like hot dogs for dinner, because it wasn't even like I had a choice whether I was going to eat over there. If I showed up, they were feeding me, so I planned all my meals around this. And especially as like a starving, early college student, that helped a lot. Well, she kept forgetting that she was making hot dogs for us. And by the time we were done, we ate 2.5 packages, and then she complained because we left hot dogs over and we didn't eat all that she made. So I think we had about 11 each. That was painful.
Yeah. I say I normally go for 1 hot dog, 1 hamburger, but then towards the end, if there's like a hot dog left and it's like, oh, does anyone want to eat this hot dog? Matt, you didn't really eat that much. And look at you. You got a huge belly, so why don't you just take it? Fine, I'll eat it. If my stomach messes up, it's your fault.
There was so I used to be involved in the online poker world, and there are a lot of online poker forums. And these guys, because they're essentially gambling degenerates, they have no filter, and they have no inhibitions. So they have these. They'll bet on anything. Can you jump off the second floor balcony without hurting yourself? Oh, I got $100 says you can't. Just stupid shit like that. So they come up with because they're all really smart, and a lot of like the millionaire poker players have dropped out of like law school or medical school or whatever to play poker because they can work less and make more. These guys are super smart. They'll actually draw up legal contracts for a lot of these bets, and they'll hold the money in escrow and all this elaborate stuff. So one guy had a bet that he couldn't eat 450 hot dogs in 1 month. If you do the quick math on that, that is 15 a day.
It's like 15 a day. Wow.
So I could do 15 a day and maybe 15 the next day. But then I wouldn't want to eat for, at least 3 hours.
So then that leads to this question. Would a corn dog be considered a hot dog?
That's a good question.
Which, by the way, so I sent Adam a Snapchat yesterday. So if you have Snapchat, we'll put the link in the box. This person, at least 2 people, made quite possibly the biggest corn dog I have ever seen in my life.
I'll have to look at that.
It was glorious. And the best part is he goes out into the road with this like huge corn dog, and he's showing people like as they drive by, hey, look at this huge corn dog.
What kind of nutcase would show other people a corn dog?
I don't know.
So Emma says she's been to Italy and don't remember them eating hamburgers and hot dogs. How much of a delay is there? So right now it's 8:23 p.m. Somebody type in the time when you hear me say 8:20. Well, sorry. Right now it's 8:24 p.m. Somebody type in the time when they hear me say 8:24 p.m. and see how far this is off. Because there was
I think in Italy they're called hot dogs, and you got a hot dog, a hamburger. I don't know.
It's close enough. So he ended up getting ridiculous odds, like 10-1. And I want to say he won about 50 grand because he did it. And he was,
I no, there is like, how would you even like document it? Would you just like buy 450 hot dogs, put them in your refrigerator, and then like
he documented that?
Take pictures.
Okay, Emma's just late replying. Okay. So that's almost a minute latency. So YouTube had some new options for latency, and they were specifically dealing with interacting with the chat. There was normal, which is what we always used to run, low latency and ultra low latency. And I tried the low latency, and it didn't seem like it was any better than the normal, so I just left it at normal. So we're really, really, really slow replying to all the humongous amounts of chat messages that we're getting.
Yeah, guys, settle down in the chat.
So far, Scotty says more dad jokes, and Emma says Emma was late replying, and she's been to Italy and don't remember them eating hamburgers and hot dogs. So we're an Italian Welsh family. So how's that? Hot dogs are in there somewhere.
Yeah. Boom.
So there.
Going.
We were watching the Italy-England game yesterday, and I had a hamburger. By the way, hamburger. We'll go back to the bet in here in a second. Hamburger math. We're just stalling until 8:30 so more people join, but now we got like 6 or 7. Hamburger math. So how many ounces are in a pound?
16.
Correct.
Yes.
So if we're at this bar and grill yesterday, and they had a smash burger. In my mind, I picture a smash burger being really small because they smash it and it's thin. It's like super small.
Right.
So when I ordered it and it said extra patty $4, I figured, sure, that's fine. They were 6-ounce patties. So if you do the math on that, try to eat something that's that tall.
Well, so funny story. Funny you mentioned that. So there was a chain of, I don't know if there's still a chain, but there used to be a hamburger place in Syracuse called Cheeseburger. And it was kind of like a 50s style diner. And they had like your typical like onion rings, French fries, milkshakes, but they had a burger challenge. And this was at the peak of like Man versus Food. And I was watching Man versus Food like religiously. So they had a challenge where if you ate a burger and I guess it was fries in one sitting, you got your picture taken with this like huge like foam burger, and you got put into the Wall of Fame. And I don't remember if it was free or not. It might have been.
That was Adam Richman, right?
Yeah. Well, it was me, but yeah, but he did Man versus Food. So the thing came out, and it was like you ever seen the movie The Great Outdoors?
Yep.
It looked like the old 90s Sixer. Where I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can try and eat it. I ended up doing the challenge like 3 or 4 times while it was open.
There was one here, and it was I think it was a 14-pound burger. And they basically cut it like a pie, and you share it with a whole table, of course. But people were telling me that it was just so dry.
Yeah. There was another one I did. It was at a racetrack. It was Vernon Downs, which is
I've heard of it.
East of Syracuse, and it was like a 5-pound burger, but 3 of it was like this dry, like disgusting bun.
Oh, that's worse. That's worse.
Yeah, I didn't even like I'm like, oh, this should be easy. This is no problem. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is the driest bun I have ever seen in my life. I'll pay the $20. I don't care.
I had to ask for a knife so I could cut this burger in half because I had no idea how I was going to bite into it without everything going out the other side. Because I needed like a corner to just anchor onto.
Right.
And by the time I got to the second half, the bottom bun was almost gone. Just from the juices and everything. Just because it was bacon. It was like a Big Mac, basically. Bacon cheeseburger with Thousand Island dressing. I'm kind of hungry now.
Thousand Island dressing from the Thousand Islands.
Oh, yeah. So, back to the hot dog bet. Hey, Gio, we've renamed our channel to Major League Eating in the Box. So, if you want back in, that's too bad. Anyway, so
unless you got a eating challenge to tell us about.
So to recap, anyone who just joined, the bet was this guy couldn't eat 450 hot dogs in a month. He got like some insane 10-1 odds. Poker player, degenerate gambler types betting on this thing, and he documented everything. And his roommate was in the forum as well, so his roommate was basically the witness. And they had clauses in there, like if they found out the roommate was paid off to cheat or whatever. I mean, they showed receipts. And I think what they did for buying them is they bought a week at a time. Because that's a lot of damn hot dogs, and you can't really store them anywhere. I mean, could you imagine 450 hot dogs? And I think one of the guys fronted the money for the hot dogs and buns. Because the hot dogs wouldn't be as bad, but the buns, you can't let buns go for more than 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would get sick of it after like day 2, I think.
I don't know. I mean, and there were times, so everyone, of course, in the group, these things blow up, and there's all the naysayers, like, there's no way you can do this, and there's always like, all the guys are like, hell yeah, you can do this, you got this. And it turned out that all these people were like quoting all the calories and all the sodium and all these other things, and like, dude, based on my calculations, you're gonna die by day 9, you know? But he did it because he incorporated like a running regimen in this.
His roommate's on like the back of like a 4-wheeler or something with like a stick and a hot dog, and he's like running after it.
But he did it. 450 in a month, and I mean, this was probably 10 years ago, and I'm sure he hasn't eaten a hot dog since. Because he was talking about, he's like,
just like the Great Outdoors. After he ate the 96er, he couldn't really eat meat.
Yeah.
And then like saw something and he threw up.
Yeah. Of course.
All right, there's our show. So we talked about
8:32.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you later.
Yeah. Good talking to you guys.
All right. So what do we got for news?
New coach for Dallas.
New coach for Dallas. It is not Gio.
It is not.
Sorry, Gio.
I heard from a reliable source it was close. But Pablo da Silva did edge him out slightly in the talent portion of the interview.
Oh. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so
he's like, this guy just tore his ACL, we can't have him coach.
Yeah. And we've seen him on oxycodone.
Right. I forgot about that. So what's weird is as soon as he got announced as coach, I'm like, oh yeah, he moved down to Texas to be part of the national futsal team. And we were kind of speculating that he was going to be coach last season. And then he wasn't, and then it completely lost from my mind because I just never thought of it again.
Well, I had no idea he moved down there.
Oh yeah, he was to be the I think assistant coach for U.S. national.
Well, yeah, I know he's the assistant coach for the futsal team. I didn't realize that he moved down there.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, so it makes perfect sense. There's a bunch of naysayer comments, and there was one by a guy named Ed H, but not Ed Hale. I had one guy confused, who Brian Holland thought I was talking about Ed Hale when I made these comments. And this guy looked up the completely wrong he looked up Paulo da Silva. And it's like, this guy has no outdoor or indoor experience. Look, and he lists this resume, and it has nothing to do with Pablo. We're like, no. Like, Pablo has not directly coached a team in the MASL. But he's been in for 11 years, 13 years, 2 championships in Milwaukee. He's been on a number of teams. He was like Everton's second-hand man for a while. He was Nick Pereira's kind of second-hand man in Tacoma. Perfect choice. I like to see good things coming. And he entered, one of his quotes was something like, in not so many words, basically, said, don't expect us to automatically be a championship contender now. We have a lot of work to do, and we have to figure out what players we need, what system we can implement, and we're going to get going.
Yeah, I watched his interview. They did a little 1.5-minute interview with him on Twitter.
Yep.
And he mentioned that he wants to find good players, but also good people as well. And I think that's a good start. And going from that, I mean, we've said it before. The cornerstones, they've got good pieces,
mm-hmm.
and it's just utilizing those pieces to the best of its potential. And I think Pablo is a great a person to get that out of the players.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Gio would have done a great job too, but
Gio said he asked for two. He goes, "That was a scam. I asked for too much money, so I asked him if it was 38 cents, as opposed to the 37 cents that Lewis Melcher bought the Mississauga turf."
yeah.
So the big announcement from the league was that there will be a season, but there was a couple.
Yeah.
There were a couple quotes in that article. In fact, let me bring
Well,
it up.
while you're doing that, I did get a chance to talk to a representative from the MASL, and they told me that a lot of the announcements were going to be held off until after the Copa America and Euro 2021 finals. So now that those are over, I think we're going to be hearing a lot more from the league itself.
Okay. I can't find the state. What am I even looking for? Oh, here it is. There are two quotes that really kind of they work well together. One was actually a quote by Tozer. One was just in the article. It said, "Fans can look forward to all member clubs participating in the 2021/22 season." And then Tozer said, "All of our member clubs across North America, including the new league office, are working extremely hard in preparation for the exciting season in front of blah, 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 blah." Okay, whatever. The key in there is that all of the member clubs and all the clubs across North America, I think we're going to see the Mexican clubs back. That was where I was going with that. I think that's good because it's.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction. It'll be interesting to see how that's implemented.
Yep.
But I think with COVID vaccines and things like that being more accessible, I think all players will be vaccinated, and I think the big issues then will be visas. But
yeah, that's one of my top questions if we ever get to talk to anyone from the league.
do we have an update from the league?
Kind of a neat segue. Here's the update I received from the league. So I don't want to go out and say that we're being blackballed or stonewalled or ignored or kind of just set to the side. But here's what happened. I am not going to list any names, but I asked the league if actually the same day I sent a message to the league and I sent a message to Tozer personally saying, "Hey, we'd love to have you on In The Box." And my thought was it would be easier to start with Tozer because we know something about him. We know very little about Shep or JP. And I think it would be a good icebreaker for us to talk to Tozer first and then have Shep and JP possibly on at the same time the week after. So Tozer replied, great, welcome for all your support. Really appreciate what you guys are doing. Contact the league and they'll set up a time. I contacted the league on June 3rd and I said, is there any way we can make the show on June 7th? On June 7th, I was told, nope, sorry, you can't make it, but we are a priority. And I said, well, how about having Tozer on the 14th and Shep and JP on the 21st? Great, I'll put the request in, is what I heard from the league. On the 14th, I messaged asking what was going on, didn't get a reply. We canceled the show figuring, okay, it'll be next week. On the 17th, message again, no reply. And this is in June still, because it's not even July 17th. June 21st, we were supposed to have a show that night. I said straight out, are we being blackballed? They said, no, guys there's a lot coming at them, they're just really busy. Okay, cancel the show for that night. Didn't hear anything throughout the next week. Finally, on July 1st, I said, hey, it's a week and a half out. Can we get someone on for July 12th, which is tonight? And yes, I'll put that request in. July 8th, Thursday? I emailed again, no reply. So we've been told, no, you're not being left out on purpose, but it sure seems like we're being left out on purpose because we're not even getting replies when we ask the second time. So, kind of leads into the next kind of bit of news that we were talking about. I don't think we're going to do weekly shows for a while. Like, we've already gone, 5 weeks in between shows since the last one. So I think we'll plan on maybe one in August and one in September. And just
unless there's something huge that we could talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing because I really thought that, especially having 3 people dedicated to this, there would be something different. And so far, we're just seeing more of the same.
Yeah, and like I said, I think, and I asked the person at the MASL, like, oh, is there anything interesting going on and he said, just be patient. A lot of information is going to be put out there after the major soccer tournaments.
But then we have to wait for after the 29th of July. Then we have to wait until after the 5th of August. And then, yeah. I don't know. It's discouraging because I thought there would be much more fan interaction than just a post every couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I guess what we're trying to ask you guys to do is get a hold of your congressman. Just write a sternly worded letter.
Write your congressman.
And just mail that in, and hopefully one day we'll have them on.
And hopefully by then we haven't changed over to Major League Eating in the Box. So speaking of which,
we could get Eater X.
So speaking of that, there used to be a show on one of the weird. So I can't remember what cable system it was. Might have been Time Warner at the time. Whatever. There were these like weird. When HD first came out, they had all these channels that were dedicated to HD programming because it was like the new thing. And one of them would have all natured shows, and one of them have like the most sick I ever got watching TV was watching like a Blue Angels show from like the cockpit of one of the planes. I don't recommend that if you're not used to that. But one of the shows was called Eats of Strength, and it was hosted by George and Rick Shea, the 2 brothers that have founded the whole thing. And it had every episode was different. Like they had the one on Fox where Kobayashi ate hot dogs against a grizzly bear. Have you ever seen that? If you've never seen that, go on YouTube and look that up. That's worth watching. The bear is behind like this super thin electrified. They put him in like boxing rings, but the instead of normal ropes or whatever, it was just these real thin electrified fence for the bear, and it was a grizzly, so it wasn't even like a black bear. It was just this giant grizzly, and Kobayashi's freaked out, and they ring the bell, and Kobayashi's like eating hot dogs, like looking at the bear every 2 seconds because he's you can tell he's freaked, and the bear has no idea what's going on. He kind of just wanders over, meanders up, goes to the table, and eats all the hot dogs in like one swoop.
And then celebrates and gets electrified.
Yeah. So this show, they had every episode featured a different eater, and doing like the Crazy Legs Conti guy with the crazy dreadlocks. They had him on it because they were saying that he left too much debris, and that was the term they used, was debris when he eats. And they showed a couple of clips where he was eating hot dogs. It was just like it looked like the remnants of an after purging event. So they made him do a thing where he made sure he ate everything. They had a guy doing corn on the cob. They had a guy doing wings.
Was Badlands Booger Badlands the big?
I can't remember if they had him on, but they had.
I don't know why this comes up on YouTube. I want to know YouTube's algorithm for videos, because I'll look through videos and all of a sudden I see Badlands Booker chugging like 4 2-liters of Diet Coke, and it's like, where the fuck do you get this?
It's the best thing.
I do not want to see. I mean, I'm rather intrigued for the first couple of seconds, but then I don't want to hear him burp for 45 seconds.
There's that. If you follow Matt Stoney has 12 million subscribers on YouTube.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I saw Mr. Beast. I don't really watch Mr. Beast, but they have a Mr. Beast Reacts. And it was him reacting to all of these like major eaters.
Yeah.
And Matt Stoney did like something with Pop Rocks. It was like 700 packages of Pop Rocks. And he's eating it with like this huge like ladle. He's just ladling it in, and
He had 25 Big Macs in one sitting.
oh my God.
Some insane stuff. But he didn't even compete this year. I wonder if it was a COVID thing or what.
You know what they should have? I hope Emma's in the chat still. They should have, and this would be like economical, like a Marmite eating contest.
And the winner with 2 crackers.
2 tablespoons.
Oh, hey Brian, we were just talking about you. When I was talking about Ed H, and it was not Ed Hale, it was Ed somebody else. But anyway, so they had Eater X on one episode, and they went into the 4 personalities of Eater X. Well, the first one is just Tim, whatever his name, Janice, I think his name is.
Yeah.
The next one was Eater X, the competitive eater. The next one was the Whaler. He wore those like overall things with the big yellow in the boots and everything.
So he looked like the Gordon's fisherman.
Yes, he was a blogger who wrote about Eater X. And then his 4th personality was the Invisible Man, where he was naked except for a big sign wrapped around him that said, like, "You can't see me." And the whole show was like, I'm just sitting there, like, what am I watching? And I have not been able to find it. So, Hive Mind, if you guys could search out, the show is called Eats of Strength, and it had Eater X on it, and we will have a watch party on the show somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but it was so worth it. And it was back in the days like DVRs were in your cable box, so it's completely lost. It's nowhere to be found. I've spent
if they can put a thing from 1990 Dallas versus Tacoma, you've got to find something like that.
We may dedicate a portion of our show to me searching for that.
Yeah, which, by the way, thank you to whoever posted that on YouTube. That gave me something else to listen to when I fell asleep. It's rather interesting to listen to old games.
Yeah, I've been watching old pool matches. So, not necessarily really old, but there's a company called AccuStats who have put on all these tournaments, and they've like invented some of the major stats that they're using for pool, 8-ball, 9-ball, billiards pool, not swimming pool. And they have all this series of videos from like 2015 through 2020, before COVID, of all these like amazing, phenomenal players playing. They'll have invitational tournaments where they're bringing like 6 players, and each match will be for like $1,000, and they'll do round robin matches and then a finals and everything. They're replaying all these. So I've been watching those a lot. They're nice to kind of ease my mind out of the day.
Yeah, and not Badlands Booker chugging Diet Coke.
No. But now that we're on the Major League Eating, let's bring this back to MASL. And I bring to you the absolute dream team of announcing. So I am very, very sorry, Eric Bergerud, who might be out there. Actually, Eric's in Wyoming dealing with some kind of alien encounter or something.
Or potato.
Yeah, potatoes, yeah. Have you ever seen that movie? Close Encounters of the Third Kind? It'll make more sense if you saw that movie. And Nick Vassos, Tom Wynn, Art Kramer, none of you guys would compare to George Shea and Mario Alvarez calling an MASL game. There's absolutely no way we could compare those two.
Now that I'm thinking of it, I don't think I think any environment they would be better. And I hearken back to our good friends in El Paso. I would rather listen to Mario Alvarez and George Shea
in the bathroom
with the acoustic of the El Paso bathroom.
Can you imagine them doing golf? So, did you watch the Mexico Trinidad and Tobago match last night. So,
Can't say that I did.
I can't remember who the announcer was. Gio might know. And I only say that because Gio is a soccer fan, not because Gio is a Mexican soccer fan. Because that would be wrong. But the Mexican announcer really emphasizes every single word. Like, you know how the Heat guy, oh, he has a ball, you know, it's much worse than that. Thank you, friends. Let's go soccer. And that's how he opened the show. I mean, like before kickoff. So I couldn't take that guy, so I didn't watch that one. So, speaking of broadcasts, a good segue into the next topic.
True.
If you guys have been watching all of the comments to all the posts about the new commissioner, this and that, the number one comment I see from fans is, great, now maybe we can get a TV deal. And I refrained a number of times. I did reply to a couple of them. Here are my thoughts on a TV deal. Number one, you get one shot. You have absolutely only one time to get this right. And if you shit the bed, you are not going to be asked back. And it was in English, yes, Gio. It was on. It was the Gold Cup, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, on some channel. I don't know if it was on FS1 or the Gold Cup is on ESPN or NBC or CBS.
I think I saw a penalty thing, and I think it was FS1.
Possibly, yeah, probably. So, we
broadcast.
We only get one shot at this. You go to ESPN. Now ESPN is a unique situation because ESPN will mandate that they bring one of their satellite trucks to your location. In which case, realistically, all of the broadcast quality problems that I'm about to talk about would be not a valid point. However, for watchability, how many games are played in the MLS every week? 5? 10? And how many are played on ESPN? 1? 2? So, if you get this TV deal and it goes to ESPN and they provide the satellite trucks there, you're only watching one game a week, tops. Like out of the 230 or 240 games that are in a regular season, you're going to see 18.
Yeah, it's similar to like college basketball.
And then ESPN will probably want to retain the rights to that. So if they do other broadcasts, maybe through ESPN3 or ESPN Plus, for whatever kind of fee or whatever. But if these teams who are not having a satellite truck put in a shitty broadcast, that's going to be that. So that's my rant on that. Jay Miller came up to me yesterday. We were at this Italy-England game. He said, you got to check out Major League Wiffle Ball. And I'm like, what? And I figured it was a joke. But no, look up MLW, Major League Wiffle Ball on YouTube. It is the most pro-quality, weird-ass sport I've ever seen. They have pro-quality graphics. They have pro-quality video. They have announcers. They have on-screen graphics. You know, not just this little stupid fonts that you see down here by us. They have it's guys in like suburban Detroit playing out of their backyard, but they've built a semi-realistic looking. I think there's only 3 players on the field at the time.
3 or 4, yeah.
A pitcher and a couple outfielders.
I've been watching it for the last few months now. I'm not gonna lie,
and
it's interesting.
The one of their videos, any single one has more views than the entire MSL TV collection on YouTube combined. So the one I saw was just released 3 days ago. It already has 120,000 views, and they have like almost 300,000 subscribers to them. So that said, let's go through a list of what I feel are ready to go broadcasts, or if this league got a TV deal. Now we had Andrew Haynes on last year, and he said when the TV, when the league approaches a TV deal, what is the PBA? Is that bowling? PBA?
Yeah.
Is it beer? No, PBR is a beer.
PBR is a beer. PBA is the Professional Bowlers Association.
Oh, bowling has always been huge. That's like pool. I mean, pool on TV was always big when it.
Bowling's always been.
Yeah. It's like I watch Major League Fishing, and the first place in the biggest tournament of the year gets $300,000 for fishing for a week. Now, granted, they're really, 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 really damn good at it. They have a shitload of sponsors, but they're driving $100,000 boats with, just all the top of the line equipment that they don't have to pay for, and then first place gets $300,000. So anyway, what I did is I went through all of the broadcasts, and I ranked them in 3 ranks. I said, yes, you are ready right now to be on something like ESPN with no changes. Almost, with a couple minor tweaks that I feel are trivial, that could be fixed easily, they would be ready. And then no, there's just way too many problems. So you want to guess how many I've listed on the yes column?
3.
You in my room? Are you looking over my shoulder?
Nostradamus.
Damas over here.
Right.
So, and okay. What are the 3? Because you may be surprised what I chose.
Kansas City, obviously. I would say Milwaukee. And I'm going to toot my own horn here. I'm going to say Utica.
You got 2 out of 3 right.
Yes.
You know which one you got wrong?
No.
I did not put Milwaukee on the list.
Oh, wow.
So, Utica, Kansas City, I think are ready. I think there are probably some, and I didn't put this in the almost comment or column. I think Utica's problem is that they cut to the crowd too many times, but I don't even think that's something they need to fix. I think that's something that somebody just needs to say, don't do that anymore. It's not like they have to actually do something to fix that.
Right. I tend to agree. I think I'm trying to remember if they had a game clock in their feed.
Oh, that may boot them out of that column then. Whatever.
No, keep them in that column, but I don't remember them. I think they did end up having a game clock towards the end.
I think so. I think that sounds familiar.
Yeah. But you're right. I think Utica, they tend to do that a little bit too much.
Yeah. Not a big deal though. I mean, it's not like you have to say, oh, we have to fix that. It's just, hey, producer, stop hitting the button. Go to the crowd.
Yeah, just cut out about 50% of it.
Right.
We would rather see like a free kick at the top of the arc. We would rather see them like setting up for it as opposed to Joe Schmo and him going.
What about Chili Willy bouncing the soccer ball off his head?
In between, yeah, that's fine as long as it's not like
as they're running down the field.
Yeah, as long as it's not during a play.
1-goal game headed to overtime, or or even game headed to overtime. And here's Chili Willy. I love Chili Willy. Love you, Chili Willy. But yeah, we got to stop that. Anyway, the third one, Gio got it. I put the Sockers. I put San Diego down. However, with the caveat that they need to even out the levels between Nate and Craig's mic, and they need to stop turning Nate up in volume every quarter. Because he gets louder and louder and louder every quarter. So
yes, at 3 a.m, it's not fun to listen to.
Yeah. So this is out of. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I scrolled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is 16 teams. So out of the 13 left, how many do you think made the almost column?
Okay, let's see. Well, if you didn't put Milwaukee in, you'd probably do Milwaukee. maybe 4.
I put 6 actually.
Okay.
With one right on the border. So, and then these are in no order whatsoever. So Milwaukee first. The biggest issue they've had over the years is their clipping audio. Their big issue they had last year was they had some kind of weird lag issue going on, where it would pause and it would miss, it would like catch up, and it would be real slow and jerky. So I put them down as almost, because those are two things that they haven't had problems with in the past. The clipping audio has been an issue, but they fixed that. But then the video was an issue, but that used to not be. So I mean, I think those are easy. Again, I think they go to replays too often, and they've missed goals because of a replay. But those are easy to fix. My second one, and again, these are not in any particular order, is Baltimore. Once they got rid of the lag issue, their broadcast is really good quality. There's some dark camera angles in some places, and then they got to replace their announcing team. There's no way they can do a national broadcast with those 3 guys. Not possible. Rochester is an almost to me. It's dark in a few spots. They had one game where they kept switching camera angles from the other side of the arena. And you can't do that. But I talked to Soccer Sam and he fixed that like immediately. They have a lot of audio clipping issues that just nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear somebody yell goal and then have their audio just blow up in their face. But again, that should be something easy to fix. I even know somebody who did a video demonstrating how to fix that easily. I
heard more subscribers than us.
Yeah. Next one's on the almost pile is Ontario, and I think they have almost the best quality video in the league, but just those camera angles. Like they need to hire a producer or director or whatever you want to call it that knows indoor soccer to at least train. I mean, you want to watch this? Oh, Alex here.
Oh, sunflower.
So anyway, that's our Ontario angles.
The Ontario International Airport.
Anyway, that should be easy. That should be easily fixed. There's no reason why that should be a problem.
Yeah, so, and their broadcast crew is amazing. So
absolutely,
yeah, I think it's a camera issue, and their graphics are awesome. They've got some awesome graphics.
For Utica, only go to the crowd 50% of the time. For Ontario, only switch camera angles 50% of what you did last year, if not less, and lose the weird field level camera angle, because that for during play, use it for replays. For during play, lose that weird, not quite field level, but it's like the second row of it's a weird. It's just
or focus in on Panda and Jonathan Reimer with the corn dogs.
Yes, and less of the back of the referee's head.
Right.
All right. My next one. So there's going to be a giant caveat on this one too. I think so. I've always been a big, huge supporter of the Spanish language broadcast, even though I only understand like 5 words. But I think if you're looking for some sort of TV deal in a league based out of the U.S., you can't have an all Spanish broadcast. It's just the world we're in right now. I don't think we can. With that caveat, though, I think Sonora is on the almost list. And the only reason is because they've had some weird video issues from time to time, but they've also had broadcasts that were perfect.
Yeah. The matches I watched with Sonora when they played Utica, one of them was just it was great, and then the other one it felt like I was watching some sort of like I don't know, it was like a cable access that really wasn't coming in at all.
Like, is that a boob?
Yeah. No, that's Diego Zuniga. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, right.
But yeah, I think if you were to narrow it down between Sonora and Monterey, I think if you took Chili Willy and put him in the Sonora broadcast, I think it'd be exponentially better.
There you go.
But yeah, Sonora.
They also did have a couple problems. I think it was because their turf is so bright. They had some camera issues early on, but they fixed those pretty early. Pretty early into the season. Next one is going to be kind of a surprise because this is right on the verge of being a no. Is Dallas. Oh, I'm reading what Gio wrote.
I gotta say no.
It's for me. It was so. My notes are announcers are the worst in the league. Weird graphics and the camera can't follow the game. However, I think those things are easily fixed because the quality of the video was really good.
Quality of the video was good. I think in order to heighten it even more, I think you need announcers that know there's no offsides in soccer.
I wrote announcers are the worst in the league, and the fix for that is to replace them.
Bring back Matt Thornton.
Right. It's not like there haven't been people down there that can announce a game. So I updated it to almost no. All right. So now the rest of them are in the no pile. That is 7.
Why do we do this? Gio heads down to Dallas. I mean, he's already like a 52% shareholder in the Dallas Sidekicks. So he might as well go down there and announce the games.
You know who could announce with him? The former Wave scoreboard guy.
Yeah. That'd be a good duo.
That's all I'll say about that.
Cool. But yeah, Dallas.
And Brad says Dallas has a TV deal too, which is even funnier.
Right.
So they're slowly moving into the no pile as I talk about it. But that was one that was definitely right on the verge, and I was like, we'll bump it in the almost. So now we have the no piles, and this will be fun. Harrisburg. My comments here were single announcer falls behind in the action a lot, making it seem like there's an audio video delay when there really isn't. He just hasn't caught up to the action yet, and he's talking. His microphone clips a lot, and the last season they were in the league, the video had a lot of buffering and lag issues and wasn't smooth at all. However, there was when Baltimore moved to Towson, they sold or gave or donated or whatever their video equipment to Harrisburg. I remember Jeff Husted saying Harrisburg's using Baltimore's equipment now, and the broadcast looked great. I was like, wow, this is fixed. But they've devolved over the years, and not in a good way.
I like the announcer. I think he's very knowledgeable. He's been around the Harrisburg Heat for a while. The camera angles, I don't know.
Yeah. Mine are mostly quality issues.
Quality issues, especially in the first 10 minutes of the game where there's still fog. That kind of a monkey wrench into things. But I think if you were to ask me, I think they would have potential to be moved up into the almost. I think all of these teams do have the potential to move up.
I think you could make a case for switching Harrisburg and Dallas. Moving Dallas down and moving Harrisburg up right now with the comments. So I kind of go back and I kind of contradict myself here when I say that these almost things are super easy to fix, but then I talk about Mike's clipping. And apparently it's not easy to fix because these teams have gone years without being able to figure this out. It's not very hard. It's audio engineering 101. This is something that you should learn. There's 15-year-old kids putting albums out of their basement. who can figure out how to not clip a microphone. And yet,
maybe you should send him the YouTube video of the guy you were talking about earlier.
I could.
Just send it to the league. And I think, I think when we say these things, I'm sure JP Dellacamera is pretty much going to set some sort of standard, and he's gonna also give his input as well, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty much gonna be the same as what we think.
I would hope so. Hey, by the way, I know I said this on the last show, but I do want to do, and this is not even me kissing up, this is me just being an idiot. I had no idea who JP was until the league posted, oh, JP's announcing the U.S. women's game tonight. And I heard, I'm like, well, I've heard this guy like 50 times before in my life. So I know who he is now. I'm not as much of an idiot as I was. Well, am I more of an idiot? Anyway, next. Florida. Absolutely no, in the no pile for so many different reasons. Bad camera angles, bad audio, Brian Ackley, bad turf. They had their video all screwed up off and on throughout the season last season. Just no.
Their graphics are okay.
Yeah, Cliff just said they need to hire entry-level people, radio, TV, film, out of college to do audio engineering, camera production. Absolutely 100%, because those are the people who are just going to learn, and they would have learned in the digital age. So let me, little audio lesson. In the olden days, back before all this fancy digital stuff, everything was analog, and all of your equipment ran. What you basically did in the analog world is you have your audio meter. It looks like this. It's a little strip, and there's a zero mark right in the middle. And on the old time, like, the little needle dials, zero was where you wanted to aim for, because that heated up the tubes the most and made things sound warm and made things sound lovely. Kind of like that, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do that.
In the digital world, 0 dB is your absolute ceiling clipping point. Everything over that is digital distortion, which we hear every time somebody yells goal, and it sounds like there's static or popping or whatever in the audio, and it sounds like shit. In the digital world, you can go way below that and then bring it up after the microphone comes into your system, and bring that volume up after the fact and never clip and never have that issue. That's what's going on. Probably have a lot of people who are like old union guys who've been in this job for 50 years, and they do things the way they have always done. And they get this newfangled gear, and it sounds like shit because all the old stuff is, and that's the problem. So, and I'll say it again, with a TV deal, the league has one shot at this. And if you put Florida out there in the current state as your one shot, kiss any deal goodbye. There's another reason why, as commissioner, I would have just booted Florida out of the league. See ya. Next, St. Louis. St. Louis has successfully fixed the clipping issue after 7 years. Wait. However, their camera can't seem to stay in focus, can't seem to stay in HD mode. The camera guy can't follow the damn ball. Announcers think the show is all about them. They want to fill up every opening second about them and me 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 and me. And they can't even pronounce their own players' names correctly. So they are in the no pile for now. I'm sorry, Shelly. We love you, but there needs to be major changes.
Yeah, and I think one prime example is when all the action is done at the other end of the field, but yet you have a camera on the goalie of the other team's rear end.
Yes.
Goal cam is great watching goals. It is not great watching action at the other end.
And I mean, the one game where they forgot to even change camera angles for halfway through a quarter.
I will say St. Louis has one of the best halftimes in the league.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yep.
I will say that.
But so I went to, every once in a while, I follow a couple outdoor channels. There's one called the18.com, which has millions of followers on Facebook, and they're mostly about European outdoor soccer. But every once in a while, they'll post something about they posted something about Landon Donovan with the MASL. But every once in a while, they'll say things like, "What was your favorite Rabona kick?" or "What was your favorite header?" And they did, "What's your favorite bicycle kick?" And I went and I looked up the Andre Hain in St. Louis bicycle kick. And the video that made the SportsCenter top 10, the video quality was so bad, I would be embarrassed to post that. Just in a random group. And yet that made SportsCenter in that shitty quality video. And the league should be embarrassed for that. That's what I have to say about that.
For the record, my favorite bicycle kick would be Tenzin Rampa.
But that wasn't a bicycle kick goal. The question was bicycle kick goal. So if you have to choose bicycle kick, yes, I'm choosing Tenz's over Andre. Although Andre he took a ball from Lemos from halfway across the field.
That was pretty sick. That was pretty sick too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
But I can count. The ball is almost as big as a pixel is at that point.
Right.
All right, next on the list, Monterey. I'm sorry, Monterey fans. Your video is garbage. Your audio is garbage. The camera, as much as we love Chili Willy, and I could definitely watch the Chili Willy show, and I have. I don't want to watch it when one team is trying to come back from a 1-goal deficit late in the game. I don't want to watch Chili Willy juggling the ball in the crowd for 5 minutes straight. I want to watch the action of the game.
I will say, if it's like a blowout, I would watch like maybe have like Chili Willy with like a GoPro or something, like him walking around. Like I think that would be kind of cool.
Picture in picture kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not like this. That.
Well, I was doing my thing.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I missed it there.
No, it's all right. No, it's not.
Their video has some major issues to it where, and we've talked about this before, if you look at a normal broadcast and you pause it on a line, the line should be crisp and clear down the screen. And Monterey's is like teeth. See the teeth down the line. And that's not good. That's not a very good quality video. Probably not even HD. It's probably trying to upscale, like maybe a 360p to a HD feed and then send it back, and it's just not going to work.
Right.
Brian, I did not like Alex Megson's bicycle kick goal. I did like the overtime goal in that game though.
No, that's a good one. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a good goal. No, it wasn't. It was definitely not a good goal.
No, it was pretty good. I mean, it was like with like 4 seconds left against the.
Yeah.
Okay, then that one's my favorite. Anyways,
Gio, as soon as I get through these last 3 teams, I will answer that question. Turlock. I love the Turlock broadcast, but no. Like, I could watch every game in Turlock with Mario announcing, but no, you can't have the league. You can't have that represent the league. Sorry, guys. I love you guys in Turlock. I really do.
Although, I mean, they do have one of the nicest fields in indoor soccer.
They do. Oh, I didn't grab that sound clip. Yeah, they do.
They have the great turf, and I think it could be a maybe for me if they moved the camera.
Well,
because you've got those really, really weird angles going down the boards.
But they fixed that with a second camera. That's sitting a foot over from the first camera and is an iPhone.
Yeah, so
a completely different color.
And I think maybe not doing like Califino tequila announcements every 5 seconds is kind of.
So that was a comment that I had, I would assume, and maybe this is a bad assumption, I would assume that if they got picked up by a network of some sort, that the commercials would be local to the network and not the local to the broadcast. And that issue would just be gone. Because yes, we can't watch the same 4 or 5 commercials. Now granted, the commercials are done really well, and I know the teams have paid a lot of money to get those commercials done. I just don't want to see them 40 times a game.
Unless my favorite is the Ontario International Airport, but it's my favorite.
Welcome to Ontario International Airport.
Right. I just don't want to hear this.
Oh, is that the Capelli?
That's a Capelli, yeah. All right. So we have 2 left. Mesquite. So you were right. I went back and I looked at my notes. We talked about this last time, that Mesquite, you didn't think Mesquite's broadcast was very good. And let me comment on what Brad just said first. So Brad is kind of where I'm coming from. Can't have a major TV deal showing a rec center field. And they could upscale a lot of things at the place, but the bottom line is they're in a warehouse rec center. And even though the team owns it, even though there's a lot of history and nostalgia with Turlock, if you want to bring this to the major stage, it's the same reason why we can't have a Florida broadcast with nobody in the stands and that shitty turf. You can't have like, oh, this is a major sport, but the place only seats 400 people.
Maybe okay. So humor me for a second.
Yeah.
Like, what if they moved the camera to the other side, and they don't really show the whole ambiance of the?
Have you seen the other side of the field where the camera's on now?
Well, it's
2 benches. I don't even know how Mario so Mario is like above the penalty box on like a table or something. I don't even know how they did it. It's your standard rec center, and they just kind of put a little booth in there. So I'm sure the players on the field can hear.
Maybe try and hide a little bit more.
Yeah,
that's all.
Maybe if they could get it to work, sure. But I've watched games there where you can clearly see the bubble soccer going on in the field next to it, behind to the left.
Oh.
So, all right. So Mesquite, you were right. Mesquite's, the couple games that I saw, there was one game where the video was pausing like every 3 seconds, and then it would catch up, and then it would pause again, and that went on for at least half the game. The video quality wasn't very good. It wasn't very crisp. When they put that giant ass TV over the middle of the field, it put a giant dark spot on the middle of the floor. So that screwed up the whole lighting and everything. The audio clip's really bad. Camera angles are terrible. Doesn't follow the ball very well. And the sound just, when it's not clipping, it's just cutting out all over the place, missing words and things. So yeah, that's a definite no for me. For now. My last one, this may be a surprise, is Tacoma.
I am surprised. So you're gonna have to explain this one to me.
So my last one's Tacoma. So very, very, very good video quality. Maybe dark on a couple places, but nothing that takes away from the overall experience. My problems are all with the audio and then the announcers. So we'll do announcers. We'll do audio first. Last season they played, it was a mystery as to when they were going to increase the volume 20 times louder than what it was. Just randomly throughout the game. Now this is after they went for 2 or 3 seasons where if you had a 5.1 system, the audio only came out of the back speakers. And if you had certain phones, you couldn't even hear the audio at all. They finally fixed that. They finally fixed that. But it was just really weird. And all of a sudden, bam, it would be twice as loud. And then when it wasn't, there were issues where there would be like this weird pop. It almost reminded like a firework going off. Like, psh. And then the sound would be all phased out for like 30 seconds. And it would like slowly build up back to normal. Some kind of weird buffer was getting shot off or whatever. I don't know what that was all about. It didn't make any sense to me, but you can't have that on a broadcast. And in fact, now that this person's not with the league, I can probably say this out loud. The last season before the asterisk season, they were going to do playoff games on beIN Sports. And they were going to send the video feed and have a beIN Sports centralized crew do the play-by-play. And Tacoma was our test game. It wasn't being broadcast anywhere. And the person from the league was freaking out because he's like, what's the audio sound like? I'm like, well, it's going all over the place. There's these weird pops and it gets really loud. And he's like, oh, never mind. We're only sending the video. We should be fine. So there were definitely issues that the league knew about, but season ended, nothing to do about it. My biggest complaint about Tacoma is they fired the 2 longtime announcers who were great and they worked really well together. I won't say their names mostly because I don't remember the last names. Glannery? John Glannery? Somebody correct me, please. And whoever else it was. I've talked to both of them online. Sorry for forgetting your names. But the 2 new guys that came in, the color guy is just completely clueless because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. They're like arguing with ref calls without even understanding like basic rules of the games. They didn't have an idea what 3-line pass was. They didn't go as far out as to call the play offside, but they were just not good. Another guy, kind of like the St. Louis guy, who just felt like he needs to fill every single open second with his voice. Kind of like what I'm doing now. So that's my reason for Tacoma. Probably too much to put him in the almost pile because there's 2 major issues there. Like there's some audio things that are going on there that shouldn't even happen, and it doesn't make any sense why they would. So those are my 16.
I like it.
That's it. So it would be great if JP could come in and use his name and his reputation to bring this sport into a different media platform. But if you want to ruin the sport's reputation instantly, you put a Florida Mesquite game on and don't change anything because you have an owner who doesn't feel like there's anything that needs to be changed. Or
Well, no, they did repaint the field, and it looks like an indoor football field.
Right.
So there is that.
So, and actually, to speaking of that, before Gio, I haven't forgotten about you. MASL 2 championships are this weekend in Wichita, and Wichita has had one of the worst broadcasts that I've ever seen. And it's because of those football lines, and because they have a frame rate mismatch with their video. It's just really jerky, and it's really hard to watch. The announcers sound like they know what they're doing, and the graphics are there, and they have all the makings of a broadcast. But if that's the video they're going to present, no.
Well, let's hope they've fixed that for especially the M2 playoffs.
I would hope so. It's been going on since the Central Cup. Every
Do we
single
know,
game
so what are the seedings? Do we know who plays who?
I don't know who plays who. I know Wichita won. I know Colorado was last.
It's Wichita, Cleveland, Omaha, and
does every team make the they announce a broadcast partner. So which M2 is partnering up with the FTF network. Insert joke here. For the fans. Oh, I had it completely wrong.
You had it way off. I'm not even gonna repeat what you said before the show.
Yeah, that was a different show.
Yeah.
And this reads like the whole bullshit that they try to do with 11 Sports. FTF reaches some 90 million homes nationwide, as well as online at ftfnext.com through a broad array of cable and network and cable television affiliations, including DirecTV, AT&T Uverse, and Verizon Fios. Hopefully they bring cameras. Maybe they'll bring cameras. Yeah. So anyway.
So what's the playoff picture look like?
Wichita, Cleveland, Amarillo Bombers, Chicago Mustangs, Omaha Kings, Colorado Inferno, in that order.
So 6? Holy moly.
Yeah.
Okay. Dallas is going to win. I'm calling it now.
So maybe the era of Pablo will change things, but I'm not sure Dallas could win M2 right now. Maybe. Probably not. Yeah, probably.
So
not.
what was Gio's?
Oh,
thing?
so Gio's question was completely off topic to my rants. Do we know if there's going to be a free agency period?
We really don't know much of anything.
I was told September 1st because August 31st, or is there 31st in August? August 30th? August 31st. 31st is the date most contracts expire. So it sounds like they're not going to do a free period again. They're just going to have it be like a regular old season like they did for COVID. When contracts fall off, they'll be added to the free agency list. And that'll be that.
Yeah, I think, and I said this earlier, I think you're going to hear more announcements from the league now that a lot of the major tournaments are over.
No sense. Why?
So it's to focus more on, because you don't want all of the announcements to be like underneath all of the grandeur that is the Euros and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but if you do that for every single major thing, you got like 3 weeks of the year you can play indoor soccer or talk about it. And I mean, for us, this kind of leads into, last year at this time, there was nothing to do for everybody. So Friday nights were like, everyone's at home because nobody can go anywhere. And we got a bunch of players on. Now we have players playing all over the place. We have the whole COVID season kind of ruined a lot of things for a lot of the players and families and visa issues, and we won't even go into all that. But I think the novelty of getting to star on In the Box wore off, and just nothing to really talk about. So we could get players on and talk about the same kind of things we talk about every week, but at least last year at this time there was news coming out like every week. I mean, now, we go on a little rant against my own team here. As far as I know, historically, the summer camps have been the number one moneymaker for the Milwaukee Way. And we're lucky if we see one post a week about summer camps. There's no fan engagement.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see more teams ramping it up a little bit, because I've noticed. I mean, Dallas has always been there. Utica's starting to talk about camps, and they just talked about a recent signing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Baltimore. I'm just trying to think of other teams that have.
I don't see. I mean, Tacoma's always been fairly busy on social media.
Mesquite. I mean, Mesquite wasn't even in the league last year, and they did a lot of media posts, and they're doing that again.
I think we're in the era of. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't understand. I had the same conversation with my band. Like, how do we get our album out to more people? I'm like, we need to be interactive on social media. What? Can't we do like a big marketing push? No. You need to, how do you build your users? How do you get people involved? You constantly interact with them. And then you grow organically based on interacting and based on just reaching out and reaching out and reaching out, and your bubble just grows. Instead, you want to make one post. Hey, here's my album. Everyone come and get it. No one cares. Who gives a shit? Like, and I feel like a lot of the mentality is, well, everyone who knows us on social media already follows us, so we don't need to advertise to them. And that's not how social media
which
works.
reminds me. So if you're new watching this, do you want to just give them a little demonstration as to what they should do? Is it going to be on this side? Look down towards my finger, everybody. Maybe
Somewhere. Oh, here.
So this we're new at this.
I have to remember my hotkey. Dun dun dun.
Okay,
You're wrong side.
Go over here. Oh, no, over there. No, there.
Yeah. Subscribe.
You
Share.
that.
Comment. Do the one. I heard one YouTuber call. He goes, "You know what to do? Do the YouTube hokey pokey."
That's pretty much what it is. But don't unsubscribe after you like comment.
Right. And click the like button because we only have 1 like on this video. Now, granted, as we say that, for those who didn't hear earlier, we're probably not going to do another show until August sometime. We're just going to we're not going to do a weekly show anymore. We're kind of just going to wait until we hear something. I'm sure we'll start up again once the season starts, but
yeah, we'll if something comes up that's of huge importance, or if we get Keith Tozer or Shep Messing or JP Dellacamera or all three, or some players that want to come on, I mean,
how about this? How about this?
Okay.
Our next show will be when we have one of the 3 on. So MASL, we're leaving it up to you. This is your chance. If we are really that much of a thorn in your side, this is your chance to kill in the box by continuing to blackball.
The miter ball is in your court.
The miter ball. The what kind of ball?
Oh well, no, I mean the
Slippery balls.
That's right.
The slippery ball is in your court.
That's right. Don't make it more slippery.
Right. So that's what we got. Next show will be when we have one of the 3 on.
Yeah. So before we end the show, I just wanted to pass along condolences to Tim Goldman, Utica City forward. His father passed away. I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago. Battle with cancer. Had an honor. It was an honor to meet him. And he got to see his son score a goal, his only goal of the MASL campaign a couple of years ago.
The header goal?
Yeah, the header. Or was it
4 seconds left or whatever?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tim. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, one of the greatest moments in Utica City history. It'll always be remembered. His dad was super nice, and it was great to meet them after the game. So I just wanted to say that.
Best wishes to everyone in your family, Tim. It's a flight ball. It's not the miter ball. Remember a new sponsor?
Well, yeah, I know, but the only ball I have in my possession right now is the miter from when the Syracuse Silver Knights signed it.
Speaking of in your possession, I've been Scrooge McDucking all day in a giant pile of corn dogs. And like
this. I really don't. I can't do that. I don't really have anything to.
So, LaSharon, Joey, we owe you a corn dog. Contact me, or I will be contacting you soon. And then we'll have to give some of these away. We'll have to give all these away. They're all over my floor now.
We should send one to the Tacoma Stars office.
Yeah, they got a spot right next to the. They got a spot in the dumpster right next to the corn dog trophy that I spent $100 on to get made up and shipped out to them, custom made. For them to throw it away, or whatever happened.
They probably didn't throw it away. I'm sure we can ask. I'll ask Nick Pereira.
Ask the Tacoma media guy who's in our chat. Brian, what do you know about the MASL West All-Star Corn Dog Trophy from 2020? Have you ever seen it? You heard about its
Not like a myth or anything. It's a real thing.
its mystery is only exceeded by its power. Oh, he hasn't seen it. It's in the dumpster, dude. I'm telling you, it's in a landfill somewhere.
All right, then we need to go out to Washington and go.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. So players who watch this, if you make the All-Star team, if there ever is one again, and you win, you're not getting a trophy from us. Sorry, Tacoma ruined it. So
We can make like individual ones.
we'll have
Maybe we could do that next year.
we'll have Hannah and Henry draw one.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have like little awards that we can give them, mail them, and although I remember sending Harrisburg a picture of Hannah, Ricardo, and myself, and like, oh, thank you so much for the jersey, blah blah blah. And every day I would ask Ricardo, hey, did you get the letter? No, we didn't get it. No, we didn't get it. No, we didn't get it. It's probably at the bottom of some like mailbag at the Harrisburg offices. Yeah. This was like 3 or 4 years ago.
If we do something, we'll have to make. So, I don't know. I don't want to rehash this. I'm going to rehash this. We were in Kansas City, 6 feet, because that was the minimum distance, from Nick Pereira, who said, that would be awesome. I'll make sure all the guys get pictures with it. We'll bring it to all the games. It'll be a cool thing. That trophy sounds fun. And then when I sent him a picture of it, he didn't want it and he felt insulted. And he had no idea what it was and just said he had no idea what it was.
Maybe, okay, so I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe we can talk about this. We have plenty of time. But maybe we do like an award show where we have like, we give an award and the person comes on and we do like a little interview with them and they can hold up their...
We got to do the fundraising show and figure out how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I want it to be better than last time, more engaging. Hopefully we won't have Donna's internet. I did the short one without all the...
Well, I mean, yeah, you can kind of figure out what happens after that. But... Yeah.
What else do we have? That's it.
I can't think of anything.
Did we miss anything?
No, just the M2 playoffs are this weekend, so that's pretty much it. It'll be interesting to see, like the Tayu brothers, James Togba. Who else? Oh no, everyone else is out.
Benji and Wichita.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, definitely interesting to see, because we haven't heard from these guys in a while.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We need to have Manny from Omaha Kings on, because he promised he was going to dye his hair white if Argentina won.
And they did.
They did. That was a great game. So, hey. For anyone who is an indoor soccer fan who makes the comment that there's too much diving and flopping in indoor, watch Neymar from Saturday night's game. Oh my God. That was one of the worst displays I've ever seen. And it culminated with him. So he was sitting right about the penalty spot. And the ball was coming into him from the side. And the closest defender to him was about 2 feet away. Before the ball even got to him, he started falling into the defender. And then he fell. There's a moth that just flew right in front of your phone. And he fell right in front of the defender and started clutching his leg. And they showed the replays where it was clear as day. And then somebody got into his face and he got up and he got all big and tough. And it's like, it makes, because I've heard people complain that the England-Italy game had diving and flopping. It was like nowhere near compared to that Argentina-Brazil.
I saw something. I forget what game it was, but the guy got like tripped in the box. He's like flailing around like, oh my gosh, I hurt. They end up scoring the goal. And then he must have gotten the power of Jesus because he got right up and started celebrating with him.
It's like when Gordy Gerson used to break his leg every game and then come back 2 minutes
Or
later.
healed Gordy Gerson.
So on a sadder note, what's his name? Chucky from Mexico. Did you see that play? So
The Mexico Trinidad Tobago? Yeah.
he
Yeah,
was in the box. It looks like he got pushed in the back.
Yeah.
And he
100%.
fell face first as the keeper was sliding feet first, and his head met the keeper's knee and went into an angle that a head shouldn't go into. And they like carted him off with the driving cart, just everything. So hopefully he recovers from that. I know they already announced he's out for the next game. I would be surprised if he comes back for any of the games in the Gold Cup after that.
Yeah.
That only runs for 2-3 weeks, maybe.
It's a short tournament.
We'll have to wait for the Gold Cup now to make any announcements about the league.
True.
And then the Olympics, we can't make announcements during the Olympics.
So how does September 15th sound?
I'm busy that day because Indian Summer is Cheap Trick, I think, is playing at the fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we gotta wait for
Well,
that.
we'll figure it out.
We may not ever see you again.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be around eventually. It's tough when there's nothing to talk about. I mean, we could scope some of Matt Stoney's videos and do commentary on a Matt Stoney eating video.
Absolutely.
And if I find the Eats of Strength episode, we will have a watch party.
That's the first thing I'm doing when I get off the call.
Me too. Yep, me too. All right. So, everyone, have a wonderful evening. And we'll see you at some point, maybe.
Yeah. Question mark.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
MASL, let us know. You shutting us down, or are we staying around for a while?
We okay, bro?
Right. And with that, see you later. Oh, wait, and also subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, bye.